All right, so today we're starting 2.2. This is 2.2 part 1. So in this section, we are continuing on what we learned in 2.1. We're still multiplying polynomials, but we're going to be multiplying binomials with polynomials. Okay. So as a warm-up, we're going to start off with just what we were doing last time, which is a monomial and a binomial. So we're going to do that as a warm-up. So if you want to pause right now and try both of these questions, you can do that. So you can pause and you can give them a try as your warm-up. All right. So first we're going to multiply this by this. So 2 times minus 3 is going to give us minus 6. Here it's like we have an a to the 1 and a b to the 1. So a to the 1 plus 4 gives us an a to the 5. And then b to the 1, or just write it as b actually, since there's no other b. And then we have 2 times 5 gives us a 10, and then an a. And then we have b to the 1 plus b to the 6. That's b to the 7. And then we need to add up our powers. So here we have a 5 and a 1. So this power is a power of 6. Here we have a 1 and a 7. So this is a power of 8. So this power here is larger. So it needs to go first. 10a b to the 7 minus 6a 5b. Okay, so we needed to rewrite it. So that's your final answer for this question A. Next one, we have these two monomials to multiply together first. So negative 4 times 5 is going to be negative 20. X to the 1 and x to the 1 gives us x to the 2 and a y. And then we're going to multiply that by x squared y squared minus 1. So now this is going to multiply this and that. So we get negative 20. Now we have x2, that becomes x to the 4. And we have y to the 1 and a y to the 2. That becomes y to the 3. And then we have negative 20 times negative 1. So we get positive 20 x squared y. Here our power is 4 plus 3. So that's 7. Here it's 2 and 1, that's 3. So this one is larger power. So this is in the right order. So this is our final answer here. Okay. So now we are going to do binomials. So when we have two binomials multiplying each other, people like to use the term FOIL. So basically it means the first one times the first one. Then you do the first one times the second one. They call that outside. Then you do the second one times the first one, and the second one times the last one. So the acronym is first, outside, inside, last. It's called FOIL. Okay. Basically, you always want to work from the left to the right. You do the first one times the first one times the second one. So you finish with your first one first before you move on. Then you do the second times the first, second times the second. I mean, I think it's easier to remember that than remember this acronym, but it's up to you. So let's do this multiplication. So x times x is going to give us x squared. Then we have x times 3. That's going to give us 3x. Then we have 2 times x. That's going to give us 2x. And we have 2 times 3. That's going to give us 6. So now we come back to what we were talking about yesterday with like terms. It's important in this step that you combine like terms. So remember, like terms have to have the exact same letters with the same exponent. So these two are like terms. So that means I can add them up. 3 plus 2 means that I now have 5x plus 6. These are in descending order of power, so I go x squared, x to the 1, and then no x. So this is my final answer. I'm going to do another example. So first times the first. So 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. Y to the 1 and y to the 1 gives me y to the 2. Now we have the first times the second. So here we have 2 times minus 2 is going to be minus 4 y z. Now we have the second times the first, z times 3y. So that's going to be 3. Now, here you could write it as zy, or you could write it as yz. It doesn't matter, but for your sake, whatever you wrote the first time, so here I put the y first, I would recommend writing it in the same order the second time, just because it's going to be easier for you to find like terms that way. So I'm going to write this as yz, okay? But you could have also written it as zy. It means the same. When your things are multiplying, it doesn't matter what order they go in. Okay. Then I'm going to multiply this one times this one. So I have minus 2 and then z squared. My z's kind of look like 2, so let's make them look more like z's. Okay. So now I'm going to look for any like terms. So in this case, this is a like term, and this is a like term. They would still be like terms if I had 4yz plus 3zy, okay? Even if I had them written in the wrong order, as long as the exponents are the same. So in this case, both of them have exponents to the 1. As long as the exponents are the same, they're like terms. So now I'm going to have 6y squared minus yz. So negative 4 plus 3 is just going to give us negative 1 minus 2z squared. And that's our final answer for this question. Okay, in terms of order, here our first exponent is the y. Okay, that's the one we started with, sorry, the first letter. It has a power of 2. Because it was the first one, our second one here is going to be next because it has a y in it. And there's no y here, so this z is going to be third. Okay, in terms of our order. So now I want you to do page 76, number 1, a to k, but just the left-hand side for a to k. So let's see, what does that look like? Number 1? So it's like, A, C, E, G, I, and K. Okay, so the left-hand side, but you don't need to do M or O on the left-hand side. You can do them if you want to, but it's just a lot. I don't need you to do that many. Okay, and that's it for part 1.